Hello, so now it's time to create HTTP service to get our user information or content from server side. Let's go to service folder and generate new service with name HTTP. Additionally, we will create a folder here, HTTP, and put here the class and tests. In this service, what we need is, first of all, link to or URL to our server URL. It could be any server you implement. In my case, it's localhost 8080. And then for each HTTP request, additionally we put header HTTP headers. It's a part of common library in HTTP. As an argument in a constructor, we have to define HTTP client. In app module we already imported. So also do not put headers in each request, we put it here. These headers, new HTTP headers, set, and I'll copy it from existing source and explain to you any of these header. So first of all, we have to define content type. We send and get JSON, and char set is UTF-8. Then we have to allow methods such as get, post, and options. Also, we have to allow control allow origin, and this is just helpful information. So the next method which we implement here is the base CRUD operation. I do not create CRUD methods for each type of entity, for instance, create for user and create for content. In this case, I'll put here generics type. It means here could be any type, and here item with type T. It means I could create here user or I could create here content. The important thing, I have to define here the concrete type. Next, API URL, because it could be changed depending on what we are going to create. API URL has type string, and in any HTTP request we will return observable object. At the moment I don't know what server returns me. It could be objects, it could be array of objects, it could be response with some error code. So I put here type any, and here I put return this HTTP. Usually for create we use HTTP request post, and what I'm going to put here is this. What does it mean? I'm sending to localhost 8080 and specific API URL this item with these headers. So basically for create methods, that's all. Do not spend time. I'll just provide already implemented solution and explain everything. For update methods, it's the same post, but on server side we are going to find object by ID and then update the content, depend on which content we have for item. We send API URL plus ID and then update content which we defined in item. The next is get all. Usually we get array of objects with type T. Get by name and password. The methods is for creating URL, for creating credentials. If password and name is correct, we are going to allow login user. And the last is item removal. We are going to remove item only by ID. We don't need the full item, so it could be faster if we send just ID, not the full object. And now let's go to login page and update here our login methods. First of all, let's create a utility class for generating correct IDs. Util, yes, and I just copy we have to define the class. And basically this is this method. We generate unique ID by invoking method s4. It generate string with random values and convert it to string. Now in user entity, let's replace here with such logic. If ID is defined in constructor parameter, we put it to ID. If not, we will generate it. If ID, this ID equals ID. Else, this ID equals generate unique ID from util class. Okay. And now in login component, we have to check if login and password is correct. So let's send to using HTTP service. We have to edit as providers for component HTTP service. Add the constructor parameter private HTTP service. And now when we log in, we are sending data to HTTP service. Get by name and password if we find such user. So let's first implement invoke this method correctly. We send name, password, then API URL. We request the user, and then we subscribe on data. And inside we could get data. or we could get error. And if we get some data, we have to check first if data not null, then proceed and check user row, also in a condition. If data row equals admin, then const user with type user equals data as user. And now we have to apply user session info, this user which we get from service, equals user. Okay, we actually don't need to create additional variable for this. And if we get this data, we could navigate to the content. Then, if the user is not admin, we could send request, or response, and show it is in snack bar. You are not allowed to see this page. Okay, and another condition. Here we have data null. It means we have to inform users that there is no such information about such user. The user not found. Or password is not correct. Okay, in case of error, let's inform about this error. Error plus error. So this is our implementation. The link to my TypeScript server, which will provide authorization and CRUD operation, I will send in the video description so you can run it and check. Now I'm going to start my TypeScript server. It started on port 8080. Now here we have some errors on line 6. Okay, now it's successfully. Let's try it. I'm trying to log in as some not found user. The user is not found. Okay, admin, and now password is not correct. Now I'm sending correct password, login, and I am in content.